Hi everyone. Today I've decided to give you a tour to my home studio. So I have recorded a little video explaining the process of everything I do step by step and all these sections that I have. Hopefully you will like it. It might inspire someone. But yeah, it's basically a detailed video. I hope it's not boring. Feel free to fast forward if you find it too much. But yeah, I'm explaining how I've learned how to make ceramic, how to make pottery, and basically how I start either throwing on the wheel. As you can see, when I throw on the wheel, I got these cardboards just to prevent creating too much dust and too much clay everywhere. So just, keep it confined in one spot. Anyway, I'm drinking coffee using one of my favorite mugs. This one, I made it maybe last year. Not many people like it. I like it. It's very chunky. I like drinking out of it. Yeah, so anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy it. Please leave any feedback. Let me know if there's anything I can do to improve, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I'm more than happy to answer them. Thank you. So as soon as I finish throwing or hand building, my pieces goes to this table here, to this section. So that's the first section. So that's basically under each bucket there's a piece, a mug or something, and I keep everything underneath this bucket for almost a week, especially for mugs that has handles attached to them, because I need it to dry really slowly, so the hand doesn't actually get separated, the handle doesn't get separated from the actual mug. And it's just always better for ceramic to dry slowly. So that's why making pottery does take time. So once you finish your piece, you have to let it dry slowly for a week, and then it moves to the next section in this shelf here, and that's what it's called, greenware. So big thank you to one of my lovely clients who offered to give me these beautiful shelves. Yeah, anyway, so these pieces here has not been fired yet, so they are called greenware, and they are they are bone dry, so like they are in very fragile. So it's like the most fragile state of pottery is when the piece is bone dry, because let's say if there is a mug with a handle and you hold the mug by the handle will get separated. It will just snap off. So you have to be very, very careful handling those pieces here. I mean, none of them has a handle. None of them are mugs, but they still extremely fragile. Now, once these pieces get fired, they move to the next stage, which is called bisqueware. So this is a bisqueware, and the way you tell the difference between bisqueware and greenware is when you touch it. See how it makes that sound? Whereas when you touch this one, it doesn't make any sounds. It just sounds like you're touching a piece of wood. So that's what happened to pottery. It changes from this stage to bisqueware. So that's not ceramic yet. So bisqueware is not ceramic. It's still considered like pottery. Now, now once you glaze your pieces, I've got a few pieces here are glazed, and then you fire them again, they become ceramic, and then I will move them to the third shelf here, and that's basically ceramic, and it just sounds like glass, because what glaze is just basically liquid glass. So the actual glaze itself has glass in it, that like melted glass, and once it goes in the kiln, the actual bisqueware gets coated with liquid glass. So if one of these pieces break, the top layers is actually glass, which is the glaze, and then like inside it's just basically it's just still clay, but it's been fired. So this is a stronger, even like bisqueware is stronger, so I can hold this by the handle, and the handle will not snap off because it's been fired once. Whereas in this stage, I will not be able to hold the handle like this, if there is a handle, but we don't have a handle in here. Yeah, so these are the four stages. So first, which is like in that stage here, while it's still wet, basically it will be called leather hard, and while it's leather hard, you are able to do some carving on it, some sgraffito on it, any decorating. You can add colored slip and carve through it, and then once it gets to bone dry, then that's it's too late to do, like, you limited. You can still add things, but you are a little bit limited with what you can add. You can add tissue transfer, you can add underglaze, but it's too late to add colored slip, for example, because it will just come off because it's already been dry. And in this stage, in the greenware stage, you can actually, if you put water on any of these pieces, they will just basically melt. They will become clay again because it hasn't been fired. So if I were to, like this vase, for example, if I were to put it in the sink and add water to it, it will just get becomes like mud. It will just collapse. Whereas in the bisque stage, they don't collapse. They keep their shape, but they're very porous. So like when you add water to one of those pieces, it's very thirsty. It just actually takes it and it dries so quickly. And that's why we add glaze to those bisque fires, because they're very porous. They absorb the glaze so quickly. And then once it's been fired, that's it. It's ceramic. It's called ceramic. This fourth shelf, I just keep all of my glazes. As you can see, I'm a big fan of Ameco glazes. I think since I started using Ameco, my whole work has transformed. Like now I'm making really beautiful, nice mugs. So, and the next favorite will be Mako. They both really good companies. They both American. My favorite with Mako is the lime shower, and also the tiger eye. I also use lots of Walker, which is Australian brand. And here I've got all these underglazes. So underglaze basically goes under the glaze. That's why it's called underglaze. And then I've got here some tools, some brushes, some stamps, some texture pins, and all other bits and pieces in there. I've got some colored slip in that bottom there. And then I've got this table here. This table is designed for doing slabs and also wedging. So I have to wedge the clay before I actually start throwing it on the wheel, and that's my wheel here. Or if I'm doing hand building, if I'm rolling out a slab using like one of those rolling pin, so I would actually use it. The reason I keep some weights on the table, because this wood, I try to stick it on the table using some glue, but it just keeps coming off. Yes, and then this table here, I have learned from this lovely teacher. I will add her name on this video, how to actually get rid of the slip or like clay water, because as you all know, I can't wash my hands or wash my tools in the sink, because the clay will clog my pipes, and then I'll maybe get evicted from my apartment. I have to, I've developed this system which I've learned from this lady. So I bought this syringe It's a 500 ml syringe. So if you look here, the clay basically gets all the way down to the bottom. And then I use this syringe without disturbing the clay. And then I suck all that fresh water that's clear, doesn't have any clay in it. And I just basically get rid of it in the toilet or in the sink. Wherever is left, I would have to use this terracotta pot. And what it does, because terracotta pot is porous as well, so you put the leftover, which is like slip, inside there, and then within a few days with all that sun and heat, especially in the summer, it just dry. And then I will just basically put it in a plastic bag and just throw it in the bin. I've started doing some herbs growing here. I don't know, since I started making ceramic, I started to like plants and greens. I think maybe they come hands in hands with ceramic. So the shallots here, it's working. It's successful. I'm not sure about the mint. Usually I never had success growing mint or parsley, but we'll see how we go. And then this table here, it's designed for my bookkeeping because I have two businesses, the ceramic and the cleaning. So this is maybe the most boring part of my job is the bookkeeping. I've cleared the table because I will be throwing on the wheel today, so I will need to use it. So this is my wheel. It's the Venco direct drive, and what that means is you don't have to keep your foot on I don't know what that will be called. You can actually adjust the speed that you like, and you just take your foot off. With the old-fashioned ones, you will basically have to keep your foot on it. I found when I first started learning throwing, if I have my foot and my arm engaged like I'm throwing, I just lose balance. So it's better to just focus on my arms while I'm throwing and not worry about my foot. This table here is just storage, because what I do, I try, as you can see, not to leave anything on the floor, because I don't want any dust to get there. I have the mop and the mop bucket always there. I don't put them away. So as you can see, I try to keep everything off the floor because I want to be able to mop quickly. And anything that will get clay or dust on it, I have to basically clean it. But having everything off the floor, on the table, on the shelves, gives me a peace of mind that I'm not getting any clay or any dust on my tools or my buckets. This bucket is the only one on the floor. It's just because it has lots of clay in it, and I just wipe it down. The reason I have all of these plastic containers, milk and vinegar, so I use that when I have a glaze session, because also glaze, I can't really pour it down the sink or the toilet because it will clog my pipes. So once I use these disposable things, I can just throw them out. It just makes my life easier. These boxes, plastic boxes here, I found them on special at Bunnings, one of those hardware stores here in Australia, Brisbane. So yeah, this is basically, I keep all my Etsy stuff for postage. And now this is my bedroom. With my bedroom, I always have to keep the door shut because I have carpet in there and I don't like vacuuming. I've learned from so many teachers that when you make ceramic, you're not supposed to be vacuuming because you're creating more dust, and that dust gets in the air and then you will basically breathe it in. So it's better to wet the floor. So I don't want anything to get to the carpet, and I even use this towel here once, especially when I'm throwing on the wheel. Once I started throwing on the wheel, I just put that towel in there, so I try to eliminate any dust getting in the carpet and just keep my bedroom clean, because there's, my bed is there, my carpet is there, and I try to also my kitchen is a bit away, my bathroom is away from where I'm working, but yeah, I keep mopping, and I also wear these shoes. when I am throwing on the wheel, so I can just easily wipe them down when they get some clay on them. And I also have like a bucket of water here on the floor. As soon as I finish throwing, I just dip my feet in that water, just trying to eliminate as much dust as possible. Some people think it's a little bit over the top, but all of these warning that I hear from teachers on YouTube warning us about the dust that clay creates and basically could cause silicosis. So these are the challenges that I face with making ceramic. Is basically the health challenge, trying not to breathe in any dust, trying to keep everything wet, because while the clay is wet, there's no harm. As soon as it gets dry, that's when it gets dangerous. Even like these bone dry or greenware, I find that a little bit dangerous because they haven't been fired yet and they can still maybe create dust. Whereas once they've been fired in that bisque stage, then I can just wash this and it will not have any dust on it. And this is just basically ceramic, which is food safe, so you can actually, there's no risk in there. So yeah, the safety of breathing and silicosis disease, and also the fact that you can't use your sink to wash your hands or your tools. You have to use, that's why I've got lots of buckets. I use like the bucket system. So basically it takes a lot of time to create ceramic. I know some people think, why is it so expensive to sell a mug for like, you know, $55 or $70 or $60, but it actually costs money. So to fire, you have to do firing twice. I don't have my own kiln, so I have to pay for firing, and I'm firing twice. The first firing, which is the bisque, and then the glaze firing. The glaze itself is very expensive. So each bottles of those Amicos is like $33. The clay as well is expensive, and then the time I spend on cleaning is actually longer on making. So I think you will find, if you ask any potter, the worst thing they like about their job is the cleaning, because there's lots of cleaning that comes with making ceramic. And also maybe the bookkeeping, it's not something I enjoy, although I have a degree in finance, but it's not something I enjoy. And then I keep the windows are all open all the time, so I will get fresh air coming and air circulation, so I don't get that dust. Some teachers said that they have a machine, they buy it around like $600-700, where it just basically filters the air in your studio. So yeah, this is basically my studio, home studio. It's almost complete. I think I need another table to go at the middle. Just more table, more shelves, just to keep everything off the floor. I was using this desk here just for photography, and I've got this ring as well. But I discovered the actual light that comes from the windows is actually better. So maybe filming should be done during the day. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I enjoy your weekend. And I'm gonna be spending all day throwing on the wheel and hand building. Okay, have a good day, everyone. Bye.